All right, let's get into it because, honestly, you're not going to believe the mess I'm about to lay out, but every word is real. And if you've ever doubted how deep injustice can run, just hold on. I'm standing in a death row cell, execution scheduled for midnight, watching the second hand move like it's running a race I never signed up for. Outside, my German Shepherd Titan, the one soul in this world I trust more than myself, is pacing with something strapped to his K9 vest that might just save my life. And what are the guards doing? They're zeroing in on him. White prison officer's got his gun drawn, finger hovering over the trigger, while I shout through the intercom, "Please don't shoot my doe's the only one who knows the truth." Yeah, that happened. Let me back up a sec, because nobody ever expects their story to end like this, especially not someone like me. My name's Zoe Calloway, and I was Westwood City's first black female detective to ever lead the Major Crimes Unit, which sounds like a victory, but sometimes being first just means you're the one who gets hit the hardest. You know what I mean? I fought for every inch. Top of my class at the academy, but the instructors would nudge each other and say I was there because of diversity quotas, not because I busted my tail or had a knack for this job that nobody could deny. The microaggressions never stopped. Little things like my case files going missing, ugly notes left in my locker, whispers I wasn't meant to hear about how I'd never really fit in. But I didn't let it crack me. I kept my head down, built a record that spoke for itself: 3 commendations for bravery, best closure rate in the department, a rep for never letting anything slide. Earned me some loyalty, sure, but also plenty of resentment. The one partner who never doubted me was Titan. I found him battered behind a warehouse during a drug. Bust those eyes, man. I knew he'd been through worse than I ever had. The department's K9 trainer thought I was crazy to take him in, but Titan turned out to be the sharpest nose on 4 legs and smarter than half the force, no lie. He could pick a liar out of a crowd before I even had a hunch. All that, and still, the case that wrecked my life started like any off-air body found before dawn. Maxwell Harrington, big-time business guy and brother-in-law to Police Commissioner Warren Palmer, shot dead in his penthouse. No forced entry, shot at his desk. But the computer logs didn't line up with the medical examiner's timeline. Activity on his system after he was dead, files wiped. I was barely through documenting it when Captain Sullivan, my boss, pulls me aside, tells me I'm off the case. Conflict of interest, he says, but won't explain. You've got a history with the victim's businesses. I don't. Never met the guy, never touched his companies. But they shut me out just like that. That night, I tried to make sense of it, running my notes over and over, but I couldn't shake the feeling I'd poked something bigger than a single murder. Then Titan, who never growls without a reason, starts bristling at the front door. Next thing I know, the door blasts open, tactical team in my face, guns drawn. Titan lunges for me, gets clubbed and muzzled. I'm slammed against my own wall, handcuffed by Sullivan, who hisses in my ear, "Always thought you were too uppity. Guess you forgot your place." Then, as soon as other officers come near, he's Mr. Professional again, but I'm not fooled. The evidence they lay out against me is airtight to airtight. My service pistol, missing from my home, turns up as the murder weapon. My DNA under Harrington's fingernails. Security footage of someone who looks like me entering the building. Even fake text messages between me and the victim fabricated, but on the record. My court-appointed attorney, Greeley, barely glances at the file before telling me to plead guilty. Says the whole city wants a swift conviction, and nobody's going to stick their neck out for me. When I protest, he shrugs. No judge will touch this. Not with Palmer's crew running the show. You see how this is going, right? Meanwhile, they classify Titan as evidence and ship him off to animal control with orders for euthanasia in 48 hours for being aggressive. The only aggression he ever showed was protecting me, but that doesn't matter. While I'm fighting for my life in jail, Titan's got his own battle. Lucky for both of us, the guy working the night shift at animal control, Jason Morris, is one of the good ones. He's seen enough to know when something's off. Finds a hidden USB drive in Titan's vest, password protected, but he can smell a setup when he sees one. Instead of following orders, Jason fakes records that Titan's been put down, then drugs him just enough to sneak him out. With Titan leading the way, Jason tracks down Eleanor Washington, my old neighbor Tough, sharp lady who once kept an eye on Titan when my shifts ran late. She's got photos showing men breaking into my house before any warrant ever showed up. Evidence planted, not found. Now, the team's starting to come together, Jason, Eleanor, and soon Lucia Reyes, a rookie officer who grew up idolizing me, puts her badge on the line to feed them inside info. The deeper they dig, the more rot they find: property schemes, forged warrants, dirty money flowing from Harrington's companies into Palmer's and Sullivan's pockets. I'm not the only target. Anyone who stood in their way got chewed up and spit out. Back in jail, it's open season on me. Cops look the other way, guards let inmates have a go. I dodge a hit in the showers thanks to another inmate, Vanessa Douglas, a civil rights attorney framed herself, who sees the same patterns I do. We start piecing together the web. Black homeowners driven out by accidental arrests, evidence found out of nowhere, all part of a plan to clear out entire neighborhoods for luxury condos and strip malls. Outside, the team finds the real smoking Guna literal one, buried at Sullivan's hunting cabin, along with step-by-step instructions for framing me. Titan's the only one who could have sniffed it out. The files tie it all together. The so-called Ascension Foundation, run by Palmer, Judge Wilson, D.A. Preston, and Captain Sullivan, with their tentacles in every city office, even the banks. Their plan was to have me gone before the final city council vote, sweeping the last black neighborhoods off the map for profit. Time's running out. My trial's a Jokino black jurors, evidence swapped out, Greeley more scared for his own family than for me. I get up during the fake forensics testimony and blow up court, yelling about the doctored evidence and my own lawyer's incompetence, which gets me slapped with contempt, but at least some jurors are looking at each other like, wait, what? Titan's still out there, hunted, a citywide shoot-to-kill order on his head, but he's not hiding, gathering evidence, leading the team to secret meeting places, hidden drives, and, finally, Palmer's own journal, which not only spells out the conspiracy but reveals the kicker. Palmer is my biological father. Yeah, that's right, the man orchestrating my execution is the same one who never acknowledged me because my mother was black. That's why they couldn't just discredit Mimi Blood, threatened to upend everything he'd built on a lie. The night of the execution, all the dominoes fall at once. Jason gets Titan's evidence to an FBI agent who's been kept out until now. Marcus, my old partner, hacks into the courthouse security, and Eleanor gets the final proof to the governor's office just as they're strapping me down. Titan triggers a fire alarm, drawing guard away, and the chaos outside media, civil rights groups, even some of the staff makes it impossible for them to sneak this through quietly. In the last minute, the execution is called off, thanks to federal intervention, and Palmer's whole empire starts to unravel. 6 months later, I walk free, reputation restored, Titan at my side now recognized as a service animal with intelligence that's got researchers scratching their heads. Palmer, Sullivan, and the rest face federal charges. The foundation's exposed, neighborhoods begin to heal, and I use my settlement to start a watchdog foundation for justice reform. Titan, who saved more than just my life, becomes a symbol for every underdog who ever faced a crooked system. But as much as that ending feels like justice, the truth is systems like these don't just disappear. Corruption survives in the shadows. And for every Zoe who gets her day, there are a dozen more fighting in silence. So here's what I want to know from you. Have you ever seen injustice in your own community? And what did you do about it? Did you speak up? Or did the system shut you down? Share your story in the comments, because that's how change starts: one story, one voice at a time. Like this, if you believe in fighting for the truth, subscribe for more stories that matter, and remember, justice only lives as long as we keep demanding it.